Assalamu alaikum. The moment I knew I was a Muslim, um, well, I've kind of told my story, I guess, of how I converted to Islam, or reverted, or whatever you want to say, whatever term you would like to use. And it was essentially my boss, aka my husband, brought me a whole bunch of pamphlets, heard me arguing with somebody at work about her thoughts on Jesus, brought me a whole bunch of pamphlets from the mosque telling me I had interesting ideas, and I just couldn't get enough. And then he eventually brought me a Quran, and I read the Fatiha, which was pretty, I don't know, the opening, right? The heart of the Quran. And then he told me to read it from back to front, which was possibly the best advice he could have given me, because yeah, I needed tiny doses, like those tiny sodas that are in the back. I kind of needed tiny doses of that. So I read into probably up to like Surah Al-Ahad, so, or Ikhlas is it called? I don't know. Nas, Falak, and Ahad. And by then I knew. I sat there weeping with this Quran in my hand and just knew that this was for me. So that's how that was the moment I knew that I was Muslim. And my life went on a totally different spin after that. But alhamdulillah for that. Wassalama.
Assalamu alaikum. So for this little video series, we're going to be talking about when did we know Islam, that we were Muslim, that Islam was for us. And I actually thought about this for a really long time. I thought it was, oh yeah, during last Ramadan. But then I realized that wasn't specific enough. What was that point that put me over from wanting to learn it to loving it, if that makes sense? And it was when I really thought about it, it was the answer I didn't expect. Me as a person, I love rooting for the underdog. I love rooting for the team that no one wants to win, and I don't know. I'm very empathetic. It's just how I am. So when I started out, my mind was open towards Islam. I was like, I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to learn. Whatever comes of this, comes of it. But my heart was closed, because I was like, nothing it's going to say, nothing I'm going to learn is going to change my heart. You know how these two parts of yourself sometimes compete with one another. And so my heart was closed. And such amazing feedback from lovely sisters giving me information, and that's all I looked at it, was information, not ways to change my life. And it wasn't until I started getting negative criticism that I started being put on the defensive, towards Islam. Like, I'm defending it. And when I started defending my reasons, it started to open my heart towards it. So, much to the chagrin of everyone that probably watched my videos and was like, what is she doing? She's going to make other people want to do this, or whatever they think is going on. I have no idea. But the simple fact that they started putting these hateful things opened my heart, and it opened... and so right at that point, I started to have an open mind and an open heart towards Islam. And then it made it just so much easier to go into it. Weird, yes, I know that. It wasn't what I thought, because I realized when I first started, I had a hard head about it, to be perfectly honest, or a hard heart to it. My head was open. I was perfectly willing to learn any information people wanted to give me, but my heart was pretty closed. And it wasn't until people started making threats and criticisms, and you know how it is, towards me, that my heart started to open towards it. And then, yeah, once it was opened, it slid right in really easily, because it speaks to the heart. It speaks to the mind, but the Quran speaks to the heart more than I think anything else does. So, of course, I was going to become Muslim once my heart was open towards it. So, yeah, that's when I knew all those haters. They're probably kicking themselves in the butt right now. I don't know, they probably don't even care. But that actually definitely changed my perspective. And it doesn't help that I'm very ornery. If someone tells me I shouldn't be doing something, I'll probably try it. At least twice. Alright, assalamu alaikum.